Hello, hello friends. How are you all? Michelle Wong here, coming to you live on my personal page, and today, right now, starts day one, interview one of the Human Design interview series. I'm so excited for this. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit until we have some viewers, and I'm waiting for Wendy Jasper to come on. But before she does, I wanted to give a little bit of a background introduction and also share more about Wendy. And so for those of you who know or don't know me, I'm Michelle Wong, and I incorporate human design into my work. Human design is a beautiful system that incorporates many other systems that allows a person to really understand how they're meant to be, who they're meant to be, and gives very practical tools on how to decondition, deprogram from societal conditioning, from ways we think we should be. And it really gives us like a blueprint of here's your energy that best serves you, how you're best meant to be in the world, what your imprint is when you are doing your thing, and how can you come back more into alignment with your full self. And so Wendy, if you are here, please comment, say hello. I wanted to give a little bit of background. I decided to keep these pretty short because I have a lot of interviews to do and short and sweet, so that those of you catching the replay don't feel like you're going to spend hours and hours and hours. And so let's see if Wendy is here. Let me tag her. So maybe that's you, Wendy, who's watching. Hi, Wendy. Okay, Wendy, before I bring you on, I did want to give the listeners a brief bio. So Wendy is joining us live in the early morning in New Zealand. So thank you so much, Wendy, for getting up early for this. I have her bio. I'm going to read it and also share a little bit about her human design, and then I'm going to invite her into the video where I'll ask her some questions of how human design has really impacted her. Okay, so here's Wendy. So Wendy is a creative thinker and thoughtful creator, an experienced business builder for nearly 3 decades. Wendy is renowned in the Wellington business space. For the past decade, her markets and events have helped launch the careers of hundreds of artists, makers, and small businesses. That's amazing. Since bringing her workshops and mentoring online, Wendy is rapidly growing a global audience of people who look to her for wisdom, inspiration, and strategic guidance on how they can turn their creative passion into real profits. So Wendy is truly an artist. Wendy is also a painter specializing in color, abstract acrylic paintings, and her signature offering online is the Abundant Artist Academy, a monthly membership where each week she offers a live practical training on how to implement an aspect of one of the 12 Abundant Artist codes. Amazing. You can find Wendy on Instagram and Facebook at Wendy Jasper Abundant Artist. So Wendy is here. Wendy, her energy type is a generator. Her authority is sacral, and her profile is a 1-3. So, oh my God, I'm so excited you're here, Wendy. I'm gonna bring you on. Why can't I bring you on? Bring them on camera. They'll receive an invite to join. Wendy, are you able to request? Wendy, are you able to request to join? Are you on your phone? Is your phone in vertical mode? Oh my goodness. And if you are tuning in live, please say hello. Brandy, I see you. Is that you watching? Oh, yay! Okay, perfect. Yay. Welcome, Wendy. I'm so excited you're here.
Yay, it worked. I love it when technology works. Always a bonus.
I know. We're in Mercury retrograde too, so technology is, it's one of those things. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
I just love your vibe. I love your work, and I wanted to dive in deeper because you had a human design reading with me. And here's the thing, like a lot of times after I do my readings, like people will share like, oh, that was such an awesome thing. That was great. And then I actually don't know what happens after. And so I got inspired to do these videos because these interviews because it's going to help like people understand like kind of before the after, how has human design impacted them, if it's impacted them, and it gives me more knowledge as well. So I appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. And look, I totally get it because it's like you release it and we go off into the world. You're like, so how's it working? How's it working? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what motivated you to sign up for a human design reading?
Well, I gotta admit that I had a previous reading and I found with another person. It was about 12 months ago, and I remember at the time going, "Oh my goodness, this is life changing. This was life changing. This is so good." But it actually didn't change my life, and probably even a month after, which we're now more than a month after, I couldn't really remember about it. And I was like, yeah, that was good information, but it didn't impact my life. It was like nice in the head, but it didn't translate into the day-to-day things, which is the difference of your reading. I felt I've come away with like, yeah, bags of in my life and I'm using them and I can see the difference of how I'm already yeah, reacting in my world and to my world because of what I've learned through your reading. So I guess, yeah, I already known it because once again, I had a friend who had a reading and said, oh my goodness, this stuff's amazing. But my reading wasn't, but then I was hearing people who had had readings with you who I trusted and valued, and I went, okay, maybe it's time for another reading because something you said realized, okay, you get me as a generator, I think more than someone else has before. You see me in a different way rather than just generator means this. I felt you saw me.
I'm curious, like what was the difference?
Well, I think one of the things, as I said, I feel my other reading was like, oh, you're a generator, so this is what a generator is. That's what my reading was. This is what a generator means. Whereas your reading was, this is what you mean for a generator. This is how you are as a generator. This is what, it was really to me. And so many things that you said, it was like, oh my goodness, that's so me. That's so me. Like, it sunk into the heart. It sunk into the cells more than just being knowledge.
Oh, amazing. Hey, Vivi, thanks for joining us. Vivi says, I love both of your vibes. Oh, amazing. Love you, Vivi. Okay, so you, so basically from our reading, you felt like, I guess you felt like with the generator energy type, you felt like it was less about you fitting into the generator, but the generator came out of you your way.
Yeah, well, it came out my way. I think Vivi just said, it was applied. Yeah, it was like really tangible knowledge. Yeah, that was I could apply and was applied to me. And she loves being a fly on the wall. um, yeah, and so that's it. And understanding what a windy generator is, because there isn't
Mm.
generator isn't just one. That's it. You're it. And I felt that it was a bit of that. It was like, oh yeah, I can relate to a lot of it, but I also don't quite the energy stuff. I had an issue with. It's like I don't always go go go. I don't feel like I can, and but also I'm a recovering burnout workaholic,
Mm.
so there was that. But the way you did it was like, Wendy generator. I get this Wendy generatorness.
I love that. Thank you. And so okay, so how did you learn about human design?
A friend, yeah, a friend who had done it, and then I've got the book. What's the book that I've got? I can't even remember now. It's like all these different codes. There's a
Is it a
book.
human design book?
Yeah, it is, but it's not called human design, but it is based on it. And it's like
Oh,
you got,
Gene? Is
yeah,
it
the gene
Gene?
codes. Yes, so I
Yeah.
had a pile of people rave about that book, and then I got that book, and I found it fascinating. Like the book's just, and I still even now and then pick it up, and it's such a fascinating book. But I wanted
Yeah.
to know more, and I've always had the desire to know more. And yeah, you were like the answer.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Amazing. Yeah, so Gene Keys, I think, by
Rod,
Richard.
Rod, Rod.
Yeah, it's a great book. I've gone through it. It's amazing. So yeah, amazing. Okay, and then so what really stuck out for you for your human design reading? Like what was your main takeaway that? you implement?
Uh, the main takeaway was how many things you said that I'm like, oh my goodness, that really is me. And I try and change that to not be more acceptable or fit in, but things like one great example is that I actually better with warm food and that I struggle with
Mhm.
cold food. And I would see that as, come on, Wendy, you should be eating more salads. You should be. And I was pushing myself to be healthier. And rather than my instinct was actually, I don't enjoy that. I like, I like warm food. And it's like so many areas were like that where I wasn't trusting my instinct, my truth. And you just reflected that back to me. And of course it was a, oh my goodness, yes. It wasn't a, oh, I'm not sure about it. It was like, so everyone was like, and there was a pile of them, such a strong yes that I would then mind to me like, okay, my instincts were right. They were telling me, and I felt I wasn't not good enough or bad enough, but it felt like I should be being better. I should be, and health is such a good one because we've got guilt. Doesn't matter which way we look. There's stuff we're doing better. And so much of it was empowering back to me that I know what's right for me and to trust it. And
Mhm.
you gave me, yeah, I guess that power back.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So, one of the things in our reading is if you know your birth time pretty well, like if it's pretty to the T, then you're in human design. What I love about it is that it's so practical. And you give you practical tools, and how you're designed to eat is one of them. And because I remember yours is warm eater, like you're designed to eat hot. Like,
And I've got to say on that, I've since, because I've been on quite an elimination diet, taking wheat and dairy out of my diet for health reasons. And I knew I was having, allergy to them. But I was trying to make myself have more salad. So since then, I've just given up and I've just gone, roasts and warm stews with lots of veggies, a lot of veggies and a lot of slow cooked meat. And I'm losing weight. It's like, oh
oh
my goodness. And it's easier and more enjoyable for me. It's feeling like, oh, this is feel good. It's nurturing. It's easy and it's working. So yeah. So thank
oh
you.
my God, that makes me so happy. Oh my goodness. Yay, congrats.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, and it makes sense with my husband who would sit there and eat a whole bowl of salad with a bit of things on it. And I'm just like, I should be doing that if I want to lose weight. But it was such a push for my body to do that because I now get it. It isn't my path, and his is obviously different thing.
Oh, I love hearing that. It's so simple. Like
So
it's
simple.
such a simple tweak that's already in alignment with you. It's all about just trusting it.
Mm.
Amazing. And so, how do you see yourself differently now after human design, after the reading?
So yeah, there's definitely, as I said, a more trust in myself. I definitely more certain in my intuition and my instincts, and that makes a huge difference in every area of my life. The other thing that a big thing that came through in the reading was just how much, I always knew as an empath, that I'd take on things, but sometimes, like, especially because I've got to open. All this is open,
Yeah.
that's open, and I would get annoyed that I'd find myself, I'd feel I'm copying people and I'd really get frustrated with myself because it's like, I'm inspired to do that. I'm just inspired to do that because they're doing that, because they're doing that. But understanding, actually, that's my design. I'm going to be influenced. So consciously put myself around people to get that influence and not just I'm thinking specifically now as a businesswoman teaching online, so consciously put myself around other people to influence me and filter that all through, and then I come out with my truth. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. Great. And I know that yes, they inspired me, but that's how my design works. So I put
Mm.
myself in more opportunities, in the way of more people, in the way of more things coming through those channels, not just a small selection, which in the case that's I'm going to be mirroring back that small selection, put a wider, yeah, a wider
Oh, I
selection.
love that. I love that
Yeah.
because yeah, so often we feel like somehow we need to isolate ourselves and not like I don't want to be influenced by other people's
Yes.
ideas or be like affected by them. But I love how you just embraced who you are and just like, no, I need to like be surrounded by other people and from that get the inspiration.
Yeah, but not keep it narrow, because then it does look like I'm always the inspirations from one or two people. Then yeah, that is going to be a bit more obvious. Whereas when there's five or six people, and I consciously go in now to people going, what am I going to talk about today? I have nothing to talk about it. Right. I consciously like go in to Instagram to go, and I choose people. It's not the ones that come up on my feed. That's why I constantly go in. I have, three or four people that I constantly go in and go, let's read their post. Let's read their post. That's activated something. Great. I've got something now to talk about.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. that's so good, because then you still get to share things based on your own filter.
Yes, yeah, yeah. But I'm being activated, and something which was guilt. I felt guilty about that. I can't come up with my own ideas. I can't. But realizing now that's how I'm designed to filter all these things through. I'm an open, open for that reason, so things can come in. But I find my truth and the nuggets within them. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Ah, amazing. So then, like, okay, before human design came into your world, then, like, what, like, what's the contrast you get? Like before HD, after HD?
Definitely confidence. I'm way more confident, as I said, trusting my intuition, trusting myself, and understanding. Just I like it's self mastery. That's really what it is. I'm understanding to another level of how I work, and rather than feeling guilty or feeling ashamed or feeling this is frustrating, I understand, oh, this is how I work. And knowing that, and especially knowing too that, okay, I'm going to be around people. Like I used to feel guilty that I would be around people and then I'd have to have a day off afterwards, and I'd feel like, oh my goodness, can I not just human? What's wrong with me that I can't just human and be around people? Because I'd take on too much of their energy and I'd need to then just go and clear and get to my center. Whereas now I'm just acknowledging that's who I am, and not feeling that guilt, not feeling that shame or making me wrong. It's like, okay. And I even schedule it. I'm going to be around a lot of people. Great. Next day, I'm having a home day, making sure whatever I do is at home. I wouldn't say yes to then going and catching up with friends the next day. Like, no, I had a big day. I'm going to do that the day after. Just because I understand that's how my energy works. So it's not a good or bad. There's no judgment. It's just that self-mastery at that level is this is how I work. And I'm not a victim to it, whereas I'm probably more a victim to feeling that I was wrong in some way, whereas now I understand this is how I work. I'm still going to show up and be me in the world, but how do I do it in a way that feels good and not draining?
Oh, that's amazing. That makes me so happy. Um, oh, yay. I'm just thinking, like, because I remember, like, as a generator, like, one of the blanket statements for generators is that they're an energizer bunny and they have unlimited energy. And it's interesting because it's true for some generators,
Yeah.
and then it's not true for others. And it really depends on the chart, and that's why it's like it really depends. I have to look at your chart to kind of sense things. And so I love that for you. It felt like you were coming back home to who you were. Like,
that's it. And I do have the energy if I take care of myself in those ways. I know I'm going to be around people. I'm going to have a lot of that energy that I've taken on. And that can also be good because that can also energize me, or that can uplift me, or it can be like, okay, I need back to me, center. But that's also energizing as well. Having that downtime is really energizing, so I get it when I'm listening to that, my flow and how that works. Yeah, it definitely is. It's more sustained. It's so much more sustained.
yeah, that's what it is. Like, because you have your sacral energy. Hello, everyone who's tuning in. You have your sacral energy, but I think one of I guess the myth is like you have energy for anything. And it's really, if you are really tuning into your passions and your desires, that
Yes.
you generate more energy. So a lot of people who are in corporate or in jobs or doing things they don't love, like you can for a little bit, but it does lead to burnout, and generators can burn out.
And I think that's it, because when you talk about my passions, yeah, I can go on with them for ages. That's it, and that's the key. And I think that was definitely for my first reading. I was thinking, oh, I'm meant to have all this energy and I don't. What's wrong with me? It just created another level of what's wrong with me, but now understanding it. And that when I do things that's like, okay, I've got to do this for my family or community or something, or I've got to, other jobs, there's part of the jobs that I don't enjoy, that I'm not passionate about, and knowing that I'm not going to feel energized for it. And that is something I've got to push through that little bit, but also structuring it. So, okay, I'm going to push through and do this thing this morning, and then this afternoon I'm going to do something which is really going to energize me. So it's finding that balance.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that, even such a, like, just knowing more about your design, and like, okay, like you can be your generator your way. And still, like, the sustained energy happens when you follow your passion, and that it just makes me so happy to just one simple thing of eating according to your design has helped you shift your weight.
Totally. And it's, oh, hey, confidence. Totally. And it's just made a difference. And that would have been making a difference to my energy. I do not question that is making a difference to my energy rather than feeling like I should be having more salads or whatever, shoulds be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how like when we think about losing weight, it's automatically, oh, I need to eat more salad
Yep. And
or whatever.
smoothies, even or something interesting. I drink a lot of fizzy water, just soda stream carbonated water. And just since the reading, I've gone from having it cold water in the fridge to just room temperature. I just take it out of the tap and just fizz it, and I'm enjoying it so much more. And it's something. But I just sort of forgot. Oh, tap fizzy. That's what Just some reason I thought that was wrong. You got to have a like why? Why did I think that? And it's just like, what are you thinking, Wendy? Like, I don't know. It's just funny how it was just so automatic. And now that it's just room temperature, it's like, oh, I actually like it better. And I'm sure it's way better for my body because it's not having to, go with the cold, which it doesn't like.
Yeah, that's exactly like, it's so interesting because food is one of the ways that we're so conditioned. It's like, even like when we're born and like just how we're being fed and all of that. So it doesn't surprise me that tweaking how you eat can be such a big shift, and not even just like your physical body, but your energetic body, like energy. So that makes me really happy.
Yeah, and definitely on that thing, I'm not getting those, afternoon slumps. I'm not getting that afternoon slump at all now. And yeah, I totally put it down to just eating warm food and not having my cold water, because usually the afternoon I'd get another bottle of water and it'll be cold. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you were getting slumps in the afternoon prior. Since you shifted that, you don't.
Yep. I know. Fancy that. This shit works.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I didn't even know that. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you feel like you want to share?
I just want to say thank you. I just think, I really appreciate the way that you have seen me. And I know there's other tools that I'm putting into place, but I can't remember right now. But I just think that is, we've done a good example of just how practical it is and how it's just made such practical difference. And these little tweaks, and all have just been tiny tweaks, like room temperature water, this is fridge water. They've all been like tiny tweaks like that. Like I haven't had any, oh my goodness, never thought of, there haven't been these huge things. They've just been these little tweaks because I've known myself. I've done the work on myself. I knew myself, but these little tweaks that have just made it easier, flowing, things working. Yeah.
I love that. It's like when I told you about even just eating warm foods, you're like, yeah. Because sometimes like it could feel so different than what someone typically does. But when I shared it with you, it was like it was in alignment.
Yeah.
So it's easy to integrate because it's already like intuitively what you were being gravitated towards. Yeah. It was just probably needing someone to just say it to you, like, oh yeah.
Totally. Totally. And then it's really good because now I'm empowered. It gave me that energy to empower what I intuitively know but wasn't doing. And now it's like, nope, I know this is truth. It's reflected that back. This is truth for me, and I feel it. I feel the difference. Someone said to me yesterday, oh my goodness, you're looking younger and younger. So I take that.
You're like, yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time. For those who are listening to the after party, follow Wendy. I'll put the links in the
comments.
Whatever.
Links in the comments.
Yeah,
that thing.
I'll put it in the description as well.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and feel free to reach out to any of us if you have questions. And thank you so much, Wendy, for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a good day.